Wow. Is it too early to pick a match of the year? Because what we just saw might have been just that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joel Perez of Ringside Wrestling Entertainment, and I am here, and honored to be here, quite frankly, for your NXT Takeover Philadelphia review and results. And what a show. What a show, bro. They may have made one of the biggest creative blunders that I have ever seen, bro. Realistically, I do not think, and this is spoilers in case you didn't watch the show, I do not think that Johnny Gargano should have walked out of that building without the NXT Championship after what we saw here tonight. There's no way in hell that me as a viewer would have said, well, Johnny Gargano should not be NXT Champion. After that, he should. There are no reasons why Johnny Gargano should not be your NXT champion after what we saw in that matchup with Andrade Cien Almas here tonight. That was one of the, if not the best matches I have seen in a very long time. Probably better than any matchup that we've seen in 2017, hands down. It really was. It left me speechless for about 5 minutes. It left me not being able to stand for about a minute. I was just in shock, in awe at the same time, and to say the least, I was heartbroken. I was really heartbroken. I still am heartbroken. I don't know why I'm talking about this in the past tense. I'm still barely able to stand. I'm still speechless, struggling to come up with words to describe what I just saw. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the way NXT TakeOver leaves you. And if you have not already, if you can't already tell, I should say, that this was an amazing show, then you have no reason watching this review. You really don't. It started off slow tonight. You built your way up to the great matches. But hell, when we got to those great matches, they weren't just great matches. They were fantastic matches. They, no doubt about it, delivered here tonight. And clearly, I speak about Johnny Gargano and Andrade Cien Almas being the climax of all of that. My God, did those two put it all on the line here tonight. The amount of near falls in that matchup were crazy, bro. I was at the edge of my seat. I'm sure everybody, and I believe the Wells Fargo Arena, was on the edge of their seat. There is not one person who cannot tell me that there weren't moments where you for sure thought that Johnny Gargano was going to win, and that you were for sure thinking that Andrade Cien Almas was going to win. I have extensive notes on what happened during this matchup. It's going to be a lot of reading of the moves, bro. Anything I say about this matchup will not do it justice if you did not watch this show here tonight. And if there's something you don't have time, and there's one thing that you need to go back and watch, it is Andrade Cien Almas versus Johnny Gargano. My preview and predictions uploaded earlier today, I said that NXT Championship matches usually are not the best matches on the TakeOver show. But this one was going to be. This wasn't just the best matchup. This just was not the best matchup of the TakeOver show. It was the best matchup of the entire goddamn year. And it's January, bro. It is January. I'm calling it at the end of 2018. I'm still going to be sitting here telling you this was the best match of the year. It was May when Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate happened, And I was sitting there telling you, this is going to be your match of the year. We got to the end of 2017, that was your match of the year. I just do not see how anything on the main roster to follow this will even compare to anything those two guys did tonight. And I just do not see how NXT is going to top this. They really can't. The only thing that would have made that match better is if Johnny Gargano would have won. That's what I was talking about when I said the creative blunder, the mistake. After watching the reaction that Johnny Gargano attained, the yes chants that were ringing through the entire arena throughout this matchup, and the silence when Andrade Cien Almas won that and retained that title, I mean, how can you tell me that it was not a mistake not to put that title on Johnny Gargano? When Tommaso Ciampa hit Johnny Gargano with that crutch at the end of the show, there was no reaction to it because people were still in shock that Johnny Gargano did not win. It seemed like a lock. Everything aligned itself perfectly for Johnny Gargano to win. You had the 100 near falls before it. Selena Vega and Andrade Cien Almas seemingly gave it their damnedest shot. The Hurricane Rana into the steel steps, followed by the Hammerlock DDT. That was it. That was supposed to be it. By all intents and purposes, the match was over there. Johnny Gargano kicked out. So after that, what happens? Well, Candice LeRae chases Zelina Vega out of the goddamn arena. So I'm thinking here, everything has lined up for Johnny Gargano to win. This is it. They're finally going to do it. The crowd is going to go crazy. And they didn't. And they didn't. And now that moment that was seemingly right in your fingertips slipped away, and it didn't even slip away in the correct fashion. The correct fashion to have had that moment slip away was to have Tommaso Ciampa come in during the middle of the matchup, or during that ending sequence, I should say, and cost Johnny Gargano in the middle of the matchup. That would have made it have the correct impact when Johnny Gargano lost. We would have said, well, Johnny Gargano lost, but it was because of Tommaso Ciampa. And the heat would have gone onto Tommaso Ciampa. Instead, it was just silence. It really fell flat when Tommaso Ciampa hit Gargano in the back with that crutch. Yeah, we're excited to see that feud. Yeah, we want to see that pick back up because it's no doubt going to be fantastic. But knowing that it wasn't because of Tommaso Ciampa that Gargano lost is kind of underwhelming to me. Because that's the way I pitched it, that it was because of Ciampa. It wasn't because of Ciampa. Gargano lost because he wasn't good enough. And that kind of kills the underdog story. Because the underdog story is that even though everybody tells you that you're not good enough, you are good enough. And you're going to prove them wrong. But despite Gargano surpassing that Fatal 4-Way, despite him surpassing the Velveteen Dream, despite him surpassing Cassius Ohno to get to this point, it just all went crashing down. And it made me feel heartbroken. I'm not denying that this was a fantastic match, because by all means, it was probably the best match that we've seen in a decade, bro. But, I mean, it would have skyrocketed, if that's even the correct word, to probably the best match of all time, maybe. I don't know if it would have been Johnny Gargano winning that matchup instead of it all falling flat and Andrade Cien Almas retaining the NXT Championship. But it does kind of clear the storm for what we were going to see, because, I mean, realistically, if Johnny Gargano did win, where would you have gone with that? you have Aleister Black as your number one contender, at least I think, after beating Adam Cole earlier in the night, in an amazing match as well, by the way. We'll talk about that one. So you had Aleister Black become a number one contender for the NXT Championship. Then, if you would have had Tommaso Ciampa return to fight Johnny Gargano, despite Gargano winning the NXT Championship, that would have been another feud. On top of that, Andrade Cien Almas still has a rematch clause. So that's 3 people vying for Gargano's championship going into the WrestleMania Takeover. Where do you go from that? I mean, any of those matches would have been fantastic. So, I don't know about that one right there. But Andrade Cien Almas retaining the title kind of clears things up. He surpassed Johnny Gargano, who was kind of like his rival for the entirety, or for the second half at least, of 2017. 2018, Gargano couldn't get it done. It's clear. Andrade is going on to Aleister Black. That's pretty clear if you ask me. And then clearly, Gargano and Ciampa will pick up things where they left off at the takeover where they did split up. So it seems like Ciampa will be back sooner rather than later. He was using a crutch. He did limp to the back, so he's not fully recovered. But hopefully by takeover New Orleans, he is in that prime position, ready to get back in the ring and give us an amazing matchup where Gargano will finally get his redemption. It's just unfortunate that that matchup isn't over the NXT Championship. Would have added more incentive to that matchup, and where that comes across to me as a mistake. We're now not going to be able to see Gargano versus Aleister Black, which would have been an amazing matchup, no doubt about it. That to me comes across as a mistake. So, I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. You can float on either side of the boat. I mean, I would have personally had, especially watching how the crowd reacted here tonight, I would have had Gargano win the championship. In my preview predictions, I said that you should have Andrade retain due to Ciampa interference, but after watching that crowd reaction, I would have done the Gargano title win, because realistically, there's no way that you can possibly generate and duplicate, or at least I thought that there was no way that you can possibly generate or duplicate the reaction that a Daniel Bryan got back in 2014. They did that to the best of their abilities with Johnny Gargano. They did. And you chose not to capitalize on that. And if you ask me, that's a mistake. Not a mistake that you can't recover from, because clearly they have plans in place, but a mistake that you could have used to elevate your brand, if you ask me. I don't know. There's many ways to look at it, but I, after seeing that reaction especially, would have had Johnny Gargano win the NXT Championship here tonight. But they did not decide to do that. So I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. Those are my thoughts on that. We will go over this matchup and everything that happened in this matchup in detail later on. But I just needed to get my initial thoughts out there, because holy shit, was this matchup something to behold. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure to go back and watch it if you did not watch this show here tonight, because I am still rocked aback by what I've seen in that matchup. Make sure to go watch that matchup. But in regards to this show, like I said in my preview and predictions, I do not expect any NXT Takeover to disappoint. As a matter of fact, I have very high expectations at this point for NXT Takeover shows. And this show, I mean, my God, it did not let me down. Actually, I think it exceeded my expectations in some ways, which is crazy, because my expectations were in the moon. So the only thing in life, everything in life that you have high expectations for, or at least when it comes to me, Like Raw 25, I had high expectations for Raw 25. I said, how could this show be bad with all the legends on the show? Well, that show was a grand disappointment. That show was not good. It was not good. And here we are, NXT Takeover. I had even higher expectations that I had for Raw 25. Much higher expectations. And this is an NXT Takeover show. And this show did not let me down. If you compare this to Raw 25, this was leagues and bounds ahead of whatever Raw 25 was doing on Monday night. But that is besides the point, ladies and gentlemen. Before we do, of course, get into the official match coverage on this show, I just want to tell you guys to make sure to go check out all the other content on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel, because there is so much of the content on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel for you to go check out. Of course, make sure to go check out your Raw and Smackdown reviews. Of course, Raw 25 was reviewed on the channel, as well as Smackdown Live, the go-home shows to the Royal Rumble. Those were, even though they're not really doing much to build towards the Royal Rumble. I mean, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do? They are failures on Raw and SmackDown. Not on NXT, though. Not on NXT. But, of course, Royal Rumble, for everything regarding the Royal Rumble, we did do preview and predictions. That was uploaded on Thursday. So if you did miss the preview and predictions to the Royal Rumble, make sure to go check that out. We don't just talk predictions. We talk about the build to the Royal Rumble, the quality of Raw and SmackDown leading to the Royal Rumble. We talk about what I think is going to happen in the matches, what I want to happen, and what I think WWE is going to do, and of course, what these matches will lead to in the future. So we're going to be talking about all that, or we were talking about all that on your Royal Rumble preview and predictions. We talked about who I believe is going to win the Royal Rumble. I think there's only one man who should win the Royal Rumble, and if you guys watch me on a regular basis, you should know who that is. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to go check all that out, as well as NXT TakeOver preview and predictions to see my mindset heading into this very show. So make sure to do that. That was uploaded earlier today. I expected to get that up on Friday, but time constraints are a damned thing here on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. Of course, Behind the Mic will be up tomorrow. That is your weekend presentation. So we're going to do a little Royal Rumble edition of Behind the Mic, probably rounding up all the news before the Royal Rumble, and of course talking about the news from earlier this week, the XFL being brought back by Vince McMahon. I'm going to round up my thoughts on that, as well as the Enzo Amore suspension. So we're going to be doing all that. Behind the Mic episode 54 going up tomorrow morning. It is going to be big, so make sure to check that out. And of course, tomorrow night, the Royal Rumble pay-per-view will be reviewed on this channel after that goes off the air, so you can make sure to expect that as well. If you did not, if you are not subscribed to the Ringside Wrestling channel, of course, make sure to subscribe, and you will get all that upcoming content, as well as all future content on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel straight to your subscription boxes. But if you want to be notified even more so, make sure to click on that notification bell for all that good stuff, because for now, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be heading straight into your NXT TakeOver review, and we're going to be talking each and every single match on NXT TakeOver. And the show started off with the tag team title belts being defended. It was the Undisputed Era's Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly, your current NXT Tag Team Champions, against the Authors of Pain. And this was a damn good match to start off the show. It was very physical, to say the least. It was built around the Undisputed Era attacking the leg of Akam, which was injured early in the matchup. And I like that, because my question on the preview and predictions going into this matchup was, how are they going to make it so it is viable that Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish can compete with the Authors of Pain? Well, they did exactly that. They had Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly use their extensive skills with the kicks and all that good stuff to injure Akam, and that allowed for the Undisputed Era to be on the attack for most of this match. So this match actually surprisingly started off with a lot of wrestling. It was actually surprising to see how well Akam and Rezar were able to get down and dirty with the wrestling moves. It just goes to show you how much they have improved in their wrestling skills. And my original thought was to have these guys move to the main roster like all the way back in October, like by Hell in a Cell time, to debut in Hell in a Cell and something like that. I had some type of idea in the tag team Hell in a Cell, actually, with the New Day and the Usos. That was my idea way back in October. And I look back at it now and I say, yeah, I'm wrong in that thought. I really am, because these guys in those couple months have gotten some well-needed experience down in the Performance Center. They have been pretty much what's the word for it? They have been pretty much sharpening their skills, and they're never going to be the best in the ring. I mean, two big men, you shouldn't really expect a lot in terms of wrestling, but these guys they've refined their skills and they've gotten a lot better at what they do, and for that, you really should give them credit, and I certainly do. But this match really showed, or the story, I should say, being told in this matchup played brilliantly into the finish. That was actually my favorite part of the matchup, the finish, because it was the Authors of Pain who got their huge comeback. Rezar got a hot tag. He cleared the Undisputed Era for a little bit. Akam tried to make a big comeback despite the knee injury, and they were about to hit, or actually they did hit the Super Collider, and Rezar hit it completely, but the leg of Akam gave out, which allowed Kyle O'Reilly to Hurricane Rana Akam into Rezar. Rezar went flying out of the ring, roll up by Kyle O'Reilly, 1, 2, 3, and the Undisputed Era retains their tag team titles. I like it. The Undisputed Era getting a win over the Authors of Pain really makes them look like a much more legitimate tag team, because what they were being portrayed as beforehand, especially going into their War Games matchup in November, was the running cowardly heels. Them being able to secure a clean victory like this makes them look like a lot more of a legitimate threat, and that's what I love about NXT. Their champions do not always have to win through nefarious means. They can win by themselves. They can win clean. They are actually a legitimate threat to the babyfaces, and that's what makes the champions in NXT so much better than the champions on the main roster. That's what makes the belts on NXT so much more significant and valuable than the ones on the main roster. On the main roster, you have a heel champion. They're going to be taking pins on free TV in tag team matches for no reason. They're going to be winning each and every single match by cowardly, nefarious means, never winning on their own. It is ridiculous. A champion in NXT does not get pinned. The only time a champion gets pinned on NXT is when they lose their championship. And that's the way it should be. On the main roster, you literally have guys vying for number one contenderships by pinning the champion. That makes no goddamn sense. It really doesn't. You vie for a number one contendership by, I don't know, pinning another worthy contender? Oh, but that's right, they don't even have divisions on the main roster. That's what pisses me off about that. But this matchup, it was very hard hitting. The kicks of Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish are effective, bro. And there's no need to say how goddamn hard hitting the Authors of Pain are in the ring. They are brutes, no doubt about it. But this is a good way to start the show. Not the most amazing matchup. There were a couple botches in there, but it was a good matchup. It was a good matchup, and that's all I asked for. It really is. The story was there. It was right in your face, and they put on some good wrestling. There's no complaining about that. War Machine was highlighted in the crowd, and I am happy about that, bro. I really, really am. War Machine, when the Authors of Pain come on in their way up to the main roster, which maybe could be Raw after the Royal Rumble or SmackDown after the Royal Rumble. So look out for that as well. I think War Machine is going to be the replacement to the Authors of Pain. These guys are legitimate and they are brutal. And I think that is a thing that the NXT Tag Team Division always needs. So they're going to be the replacement to the Authors of Pain. They are very athletic. Like I've said various times on Behind the Mic when we're talking about these guys coming into the WWE, and it is official, they are going to be in NXT. Usually when they appear on the takeovers, that means they're coming to NXT. Of course, we saw Drew McIntyre appear on TakeOver before he made his debut. We saw multiple guys. I think Aleister Black was even seen before he made his NXT debut. A lot of guys. Adam Cole, I believe, as well, seen in NXT before he got in. Bobby Roode, another one, in the crowd to a TakeOver before he officially came to NXT. So these guys are all on their way. There were more names as well. So we're going to be talking about that. But of course, we move on to the next matchup here. And this was a good matchup. It was damn sure entertaining. The first 30 seconds of this matchup were the best part of this matchup. And I'll tell you why. Because on the pre-show, the Velveteen Dream said he would knock Cassius Ohno out within 30 seconds. And he went as far to come to the ring with boxing shorts. He had a whole boxing attire and a big man holding a pillow with a mouth guard on it. There was some woman there, and she put the mouth guard in the Velveteen Dream's mouth, and it was the crowd counting down the first 30 seconds. Mauro Ranallo and Percy Watson. Nigel McGuinness, by the way, was not on commentary. Apparently he was feeling under the weather. That made the commentary for the show worse. I mean, Nigel McGuinness is so great at his job. Percy Watson, not very good at his job, and having to hear more of him is a negative for the commentary team. So I did not like that. That was one thing I didn't like on this show, but we will talk about that, or we will talk about other things that I didn't like on the show, because it was not a perfect show. But Cassius Ohno, the first 30 seconds of this matchup were Cassius Ohno trying to be knocked out by the Velveteen Dream, and the Velveteen Dream was coming in like a boxer. He was hitting strikes on Ohno, and he did manage to knock Ohno out. He hit him with a big stinger within the 30-second mark, and he danced around the ring hilariously as if he had won the matchup before a huge forearm from Ohno. And the forearms from Ohno are so deliciously hard-hitting, and they make a great sound. Beautiful sound to that forearm, bro. Knocked the mouth guard clean out of the Velveteen Dream's mouth. And that officially started the match. This was a very good exchange between the two guys. I mean, as expected, Cassius Ohno clearly great in the ring. And Velveteen Dream, this guy's the future of the WWE. I mean, how can you deny that, bro? The way he came into the ring, the look of the Velveteen Dream, the gimmick of the Velveteen Dream. It's such a flexible gimmick, bro. Literally, he came out tonight as a boxer. One week, he'll be Velveteen Dream. 1 week, he'll be a Goldust-like character. 1 week, he'll be playing a Rick Rude type persona. There's flexibility to this character. And that's something that WWE needs to value. But I'm scared when this guy gets to the main roster, he's probably going to be in segments with the cruiserweights. And he's probably going to be on in catering with Titus Worldwide. It's going to be ridiculous. It is going to be ridiculous. But this guy right now has an aura to him. This guy is great. And that goes as well for his in-ring skill. He did, of course, win this matchup after hitting the Death Valley Driver for the second time. And the Purple Rainmaker, not from the turnbuckle, but from the ring post. Beautifully applied Purple Rainmaker by the Velveteen Dream. And like predicted, he won this matchup. So there you go with that one. We go to Shayna Baszler versus Ember Moon. This match had me at the edge of my seat. Some people I was seeing on Twitter genuinely did not like this matchup. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the hell out of it, actually, because this matchup not only made Ember Moon look like an absolute superstar after this matchup, especially with that ending, bro. Not only did it do that, but it also made Shayna Baszler, it protected Shayna Baszler. It did protect Shayna Baszler, despite the fact that this matchup, really, if you ask me before we got into it, had no victor. Had no probable victor. I really did not know what to say about this matchup because it was unpredictable, to say the least. It was unpredictable. Shayna Baszler just came into the WWE 3 weeks ago. You didn't want to pin her. Ember Moon just won the NXT title or the NXT Women's title, which she was fighting the whole year in 2017 at War Games. Are you really going to have her lose it on her first major title defense at her first major takeover? Is that really what you're going to do to Ember Moon? Well, that's not what you did to Ember Moon, bro. You made her look like a fighting babyface champion, and you made Shayna Baszler look like a threat who will hurt you within seconds. There was a vicious spot in this matchup, which was exactly what actually happened to Dakota Kai in her matchup with Shayna Baszler, which was actually the debut matchup of Shayna Baszler, where she stepped on the arm and it looked like it snapped. Vicious spot. Oh my god. That is not pleasant to watch. It is not. The way she did it to Dakota Kai looked way worse, but my god, did Ember Moon sell the hell out of it, bro. She really did. It looked like Baszler had won. It did. It looked like it. As soon as Ember hit an eclipse in this matchup and didn't go for the pin due to the arm, I said, well, Shayna Baszler won the title. My god, they're going to have Shayna Baszler win the NXT Women's Championship, bro. They're selling the hell out of the Ember Moon arm injury. She's yelling, screaming. Doctors come down. The crowd is yelling bullshit, thinking that the match is going to end. And Shayna Baszler comes in. Ember Moon goes to her. Shayna Baszler locks in an armbar. Ember Moon sells the hell out of this armbar, bro. She's clenching her arms. Shayna Baszler never fully applies the armbar, but oh my god, Ember Moon was squirming around the ring. She was in this move for a while. I was at the edge of my seat saying, my god, are they really going to take the title off of Moon? Are they really going to take the title off of Moon? Please don't take the title off of Moon, bro. And, well, they didn't take the title off of Moon. I was very shocked at that, because in the predicament that she was in with all the selling that she was doing, the fact that she hit an eclipse and it did not end the matchup, I thought it was over. I thought the title reign was going to be a short one. But no. Moon managed to get on top of Baszler for 3 split seconds, and she managed to get that 1, 2, 3. She retains the title. And I'm very happy because of that. I really, really am, because there was no need for Shayna Baszler to win the title and go into a predictable matchup that we've already seen with Kairi Sane at NXT Takeover New Orleans. That was the main event of the Mae Young Classic. We've seen that. It happened. All right. Thumbs up. But to see that again when we have Ember Moon versus Kairi Sane on the horizon, it's not something I want to see. It's really not. So you protected Baszler. Some people are saying, oh, Shayna Baszler is a professional MMA fighter. She's not that anymore. She's a wrestler now. And clearly you can play up the fact that she was cocky. She was too cocky. She needs to be stepped into her own lane. She thought she had the matchup won. And you can also play into the fact that she never fully applied the hold. So why would have Ember Moon tapped out? So for those people complaining about that, realistically, what's the point? The injury angle was the best way to go because Ember Moon looked like a champion. That's what she looked like. And I'm wondering now, is Ember Moon going to be able to fight? Are they going to play up the fact that Ember Moon has to vacate the NXT Championship? And are they going to go into tournament mode? Because the way it seemed, Ember Moon is going to be out. That's the way it seemed after this matchup. she couldn't even make her way to the back. Shayna Baszler attacked her after the matchup, locked in the rear naked choke, and she left Ember Moon laying. But Ember Moon was always selling that arm injury, so it's going to be interesting how they follow up on this. I say they play up the arm injury, but whether or not they make Ember Moon vacate the title or something, and maybe that's how they get the title on Baszler, I don't know. That's going to be a question to behold, because they can definitely play that up. But for now, Ember Moon is still your women's champion, and I am very happy because of that. I really, really am happy because of that. But it's just going to be interesting to see if they're going to play up the fact that Ember Moon has the arm injury in her future matches. I don't know about that, but they showed Ricochet in the crowd. I like that. I really, really do like that. Nobody needs to speak to how good Ricochet is in that ring. He is amazing at what he does, is Ricochet. He's going to be amazing on NXT. NXT champion for sure in the future. It's going to be interesting to see what they do for the presentation of Ricochet. Is he going to come in as a babyface or heel? With his moveset, I'd assume that he's going to come in as a babyface. Really haven't seen much of Ricochet's work, but what I have seen of Ricochet, I have certainly enjoyed of Ricochet. So it's going to be interesting to see how they do it, but it's going to be a damn fun ride. We go to the second best matchup on this show. It's like each matchup progressively got better. I would say actually the tag team championship matchup was a little bit better than what we saw between Cassius Ohno and the Velveteen Dream. I don't know, but Aleister Black versus Adam Cole. This was a great matchup. No doubt about it. Physical as hell, bro. My lord. The amount of things these two guys did to each other was spectacular. It really was. You saw bruises, blood all over Adam Cole's body. Had a fistful of blood at one point. He never bled from the head. There was never anybody busted open. But I mean, it was just a physical as hell matchup. A street fight in NXT actually means street fight in NXT. Doesn't mean that on the main roster, but on NXT, they do not disappoint. It was a standoff between Cole and Black, just going through some of the highlights here, where they both had kendo sticks. Black dropped his kendo stick, started teeing off on Cole, went for the springboard moonsault off the second kendo stick right to the midsection. Beautiful spot. I believe the crowd started chanting, "Holy shit." Adam Cole set up a table and was preparing to put Black through it, but instead got thrown straight into a garbage can. Adam Cole was playing up to the crowd with the "Adam Cole, baby!" but got tossed from an electric chair position straight into a ladder, bro. Aleister Black went to the top rope, and Cole tossed him a chair. This was a beautiful spot, by the way. Cole tossed him a chair, hit him with a super kick. Black goes down back first into a pile of two tables set up down below earlier in the match. A beautiful spot. Adam Cole set up 2 chairs. This was brutal. My lord, I was cringing to a point when I saw this, because this looked like it hurt. Adam Cole set up 2 chairs facing opposite directions against each other and looked to put Aleister Black through it. Instead, Aleister Black was the one who picked up Adam Cole, pretty much did an attitude adjustment on Cole into the 2 chairs, and he went spine first, and it was like a spike pretty much. It was the 2 chairs, the backs of the 2 chairs, and he went into the top of that. Not good for Adam Cole. Aleister Black, he was about to win this match after hitting a knee on Cole, who was holding up a chair. But Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly, they came in to put Black through a table. Of course, the Undisputed Era interference. That's when Sanity came in to even the odds. Sanity have made an appearance. It was odd that they weren't on this TakeOver show, but they continue their feud with the Undisputed Era, with Killian Dane hitting a tope suicida onto everyone. Aleister Black then proceeded to do a double stomp on Cole through the table. Beautiful spot. Best spot in the matchup. No doubt about it. My lord, did that look good. I was surprised that they went through the table. He put force into that double stomp. He had to. I mean, he put some guy through a table. He put Adam Cole through a table using a double stomp, bro. And Adam Cole was standing before that. He wasn't even on the table. He was standing. And he went into the table as the double stomp was happening. Beautiful spot right there. My lord. In the end, though, it was Adam Cole who hit a super kick on Black and was ready to put Black away with the steel chair, but he got hit with the black mask to fade to black. It was the victory for Aleister Black. He got his win back after being defeated for the first time ever by Johnny Gargano due to Adam Cole in the Undisputed Era. But Aleister Black on this day put away Adam Cole. The only thing this matchup was missing was near falls. If this matchup would have had a series of near falls, I believe it would have been a lot better. There really weren't a lot of near falls, but the next matchup was about to make up for that. But besides that, it was a spot fest, and a spot fest in the best possible way. My God, did these guys brutalize each other. Like I said, street fight made an actual street fight, bro. This was great. It was. I can't do this match justice. You need to go back and watch it. The next match, I certainly can't do justice. You need to go back and watch it. That's just how great this show was. That is just how great this show was. The emotion was behind this matchup. I was invested in Aleister Black versus Adam Cole, and that just added to the brutality in this street fight. It was not a technical classic. It was not by any means the storytelling genius that was Aleister Black versus Velveteen Dream, but it was a street fight. Why did it need to be that? That's right, it didn't. It didn't. And it still delivered. It still made me pop full show. We move on to EC3 being highlighted in the crowd, and I am so glad that he's coming to NXT, and he's not coming to the main roster. In the main roster, they would have let this guy drown. But people and still some people, despite seeing what the main roster has done to so many stars, they still insisted that EC3, and by the way, EC space 3, because they put a space in the middle of his name for some reason. He's still EC3 though, so you can celebrate about that. But EC3 was he was in the crowd here tonight, and he is debuting in NXT. So that is fantastic. They will make this guy a star down in NXT. He is no star yet. He was in TNA. He made a name in Impact Wrestling. Now he's going to take that talent and he's going to make a name for himself in NXT. And I repeat, I cannot wait to see how they are going to repackage this guy and make him into something big. It looked like he was going to be a heel from the facial expression that he was making. And I heard that's when he flourishes best. So it's going to be interesting to see how he is portrayed on NXT television. It's going to be interesting to see when he debuts. And it's going to be interesting to see if he's going to be one of those guys who flourishes to the top, because NXT has a lot of names at the top. My lord, a lot of names. Aleister Black, Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, Andrade Cien Almas. There's so many guys. Velveteen Dream. So many guys at any point. Adam Cole, who can take that spot at the top. Another one, Lars Sullivan. So many guys. And EC3 adds to that. Ricochet adds to that. War Machine in the tag team division adds to that. So it's going to be interesting to see how he fits in. If he's going to be one of those guys like Cassius Ohno, who just takes the covers, or if he's going to be one of those guys like a Andrade Cien Almas, who started low but worked his way up in the future. I don't know, but it's going to be interesting to see EC3's journey in NXT. Whew, got to take a breath for this one. Andrade Cien Almas versus Johnny Gargano for the NXT Championship. Andrade came out showing homage to his lucha background. It was highlighted in this entrance. He had a mariachi band in masks and even wore, I believe, his original mask, because he did used to be a masked wrestler. He only took off the mask in NXT. He used to be a masked wrestler. He put on the mask for his entrance, and this match started very slow. But that tide certainly started to change. My lord, did it change when Andrade went for the Del Rio double stomp from the Tree of Woe position. Gargano sent Almas. He avoided it and sent Almas into the turnbuckles with the belly to belly. There was a beautiful spot, where Almas went for the moonsault, landed on his feet, and immediately hit a standing moonsault. My God. How talented do you have to be to hit something like that, bro? Beautiful. And he hit it flawlessly. I don't know how you land after hitting a moonsault. I don't know how you land on your feet just to do another high impact move of the same caliber. I just don't know. These guys are amazing in that ring, bro. My lord. Anyways, there was a beautiful exchange between these guys, which got the crowd going, and I mean going, bro. Where Almas, he tried for the hammerlock DDT, and how many times did he tease the hammerlock DDT in this matchup? He tried for the hammerlock DDT off the top rope, but Gargano, he slipped under, hit a super kick to Almas. He was just hanging there for a little bit. Gargano climbed up to the top, tried to hit a sunset flip, but this guy Almas lands on his feet again perfectly. This guy has some type of balance, bro. My lord. But, I mean, he lands on his feet off the sunset flip, hit the double knees on Gargano in the corner. First time he hits the double knees in this matchup. First time of many. He tried for the double knees immediately again. So he hit the double knees, ran to the other ropes, tried to come back. By the time he was there, Gargano was on the apron. So he missed the double knees. Gargano went for the spear. He got caught by Almas. He got hit down. And Almas, he hit an inverted tornado DDT. Very unique. I don't think I've ever seen that in a wrestling ring. Inverted tornado DDT off the second rope for a near fall. That exchange led to This Is Awesome chants for the first time in this match. The first time of many, by the way. Almas tried for the hammerlock DDT on the apron, but Gargano instead hit his jumping apron DDT. Beautiful. They went down to the floor. Gargano, from this point, after that, was in a beautiful exchange where he tried for the DIY kick. Selena Vega distracts him for the first time in the match, or first time of many. Selena Vega distracts him. That leads to, I believe, Almas trying to hit the hammerlock DDT. Anyways, Gargano made his way out of that predicament. Still hit the DIY kick, super near fall. We all think it's over. It's far from over, bro. Almas kicks out. Almas hit the double stomp on the apron. Started brutalizing Gargano on the outside. I mean, he threw him into the LED apron hard and just started smashing his head against the apron. That hurt, bro. It had to. He hit the double knees again in this matchup for a super near fall. Everybody was going crazy. I thought it was over at this point. When Gargano kicked out, I jumped out of my seat, bro. I really, really did. Gargano managed to somehow lock in the Gargano escape, but Zelina Vega pulled the arm of Andrade Cien Almas. That distracted the referee and allowed Almas to scratch the eyes of Johnny Gargano. They teased the hammerlock DDT again. That led them to the outside. Johnny Gargano tope suicida onto Almas, rolls him back into the ring. It looks like he's once again going to wrap things up. The referee's distracted, looking at Almas. Zelina Vega hits the Hurricane Rana onto the steel steps on Johnny Gargano. Here comes Andrade, rolls Gargano back in, hits the hammerlock DDT. I'm saying it's over. That's it. We're done for the night. I'm pissed. And somehow, Johnny Gargano kicks out. Somehow Johnny Gargano kicks out, bro. That was the ultimate combination. That is the combination that beats everybody. The Hurricane Rana into the steel steps and the hammerlock DDT. somehow Johnny Gargano still kicked out. You've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. At this point, Gargano's rolled to the outside. It's Zelina Vega who is furious, walking over to Johnny Gargano, saying, "That's it, I'm ending this myself." Candice LeRae, who was in the crowd the entire time, they panned to shots of her on the camera many times. She hops off the apron, or over the barricade, I should say, and she assaults Zelina Vega. She, multiple times, just starts beating the crap out of Zelina Vega. Zelina Vega ran out of the arena, bro. She ran out of the arena. At this point, I'm saying, well, Zelina Vega's gone. Johnny Gargano took the biggest shot from these people, and he still managed to surpass it. He is the victor. That's it. It's over. Johnny Gargano won. We're all going to go home happy. I'm going to get to hear that pop from the crowd. No. Johnny Gargano manages to hit the DDT that pins, that beat Aleister Black. I'm saying he hit it. Okay, he won. This is it. No. Locks in the Gargano escape. There it is. He locked in the Gargano escape. This is it. He won. Almost gets his feet on the rope. My God. What is it going to take? They end up on the apron, and Johnny Gargano is pushed headfirst onto the apron. Gargano's lips, if you looked closely, were black. His bottom lip was black at this point. My God, it looked like he had been to war. And on the apron, against the LED ring post, Almas hit double knees, picks Gargano up, hangs him just like he did Drew McIntyre at War Games from the top rope, draping DDT onto the floor. 1, 2, 3. Johnny Gargano is beaten just like that. Silence. Disappointment. Heartbreak. That's all I heard. That's all I felt. It was absolutely disappointing. It was absolutely heart-wrenching. It was absolutely heartbreaking to see Gargano lose that amazing matchup at NXT Takeover here tonight. It was disgustingly heartbreaking, bro. It really was. I mean, I do not know why they made this decision. If it was up to me and I was hearing that reaction while this matchup was going on, I would have contacted the referee in the middle of that matchup, talked straight into his earpiece, changed the finish, have Gargano win. Because that reaction has not been paralleled since Daniel Bryan in 2014. NXT recreated the Daniel Bryan push to the best of their ability. When Johnny Gargano had the Gargano escape in for that last time, the entire arena was chanting yes. Ronaldo and his commentary going crazy. It was amazing. And it was just all ripped away from us just like that. I'm very disappointed in that result, but I mean, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? They have their plans in place, and I'm sure NXT is still going to put on an amazing show each and every single week, bro. But, of course, Johnny Gargano was helped to the back by Candice LeRae. He said goodbye to the crowd, and bam! There is Tommaso Ciampa, back of Johnny Gargano with the crutch. We are clearly going to go into that going into the future, and we will discuss that further next time that we talk about a takeover right here on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. But, of course, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to go check out all the other content, because for now, that's going to be it for your NXT Takeover review and results. I hope you enjoyed each and every single thing that you heard here. Make sure to go check out all the other content on the channel. Raw, SmackDown, pay-per-views, NXT TakeOver specials behind the mic each and every single week, and all that good stuff. Royal Rumble review coming tomorrow. Behind the mic episode number 54 coming tomorrow. So make sure to like, make sure to comment, make sure to subscribe, because for now, this has been Joel Perez of Ringside Wrestling. And for now, I am out of here. Thank you very, very much for watching this video. I will see you tomorrow for Behind the Mic and your Royal Rumble review and results.